All right, good afternoon. I'm going to show you today how to log in and register for the online Pearson textbook. You start off by going to the Pearson homepage at pearsonsuccessnet.com. Once here, you go ahead and click the button that says register, upon which it'll take you to a screen where you have to type in the long access code given to you by your instructor. This code will allow you to access all the components that the online book has to offer, as well as all the interactive tutorials that come with that book. Once you enter the access code successfully, it'll ask you to enter your profile. Your username, they do not want you to use your full name, so I'm just going to make one up and go test period 1 as my username. Oops, I got to put a D in there. My password, the password has to be at least 6 characters long. You want to make it somewhat secure, but something that you can remember. It is case sensitive, and it's got to have characters and at least some numbers. So I'm just going to use something fairly simple. You have to confirm the password below. I'm just going to keep it simple. Student ID is irrelevant. You do not need to type that in. Try to click register and hopefully it'll navigate you back to the front screen. Now, if it says registration complete, you go ahead and log in and use the new username and password you just created to log into the online textbook. And it will take you to your home page that looks something like this. On the home page, you should have access to, number one, the digital textbook. Sometimes kids try to open this link and they'll get error messages and it will not actually load. Depends on your browser and also sometimes your pop-up settings as to whether or not the book will load. Once the book does load, you'll get a screen that appears something like this. Over to the left, you have all the table of contents. You can open things by unit, by chapter, and then also by section. And basically, it takes you to a digital version of your textbook that is interactive where you can flip through it and kind of go between different terminology. If you want to click on a term, you can have it define it. It'll read you definitions if you like. There is some interactivity with it, but primarily digital version of the book. It's not a substitute for the real thing, because you know how sometimes technology will work. When you depend on it, it won't be there. So I'm actually going to go back to the home screen. And I'm going to close this window. From here, you've got two other links. You've got one that says Explore, and you have one that says To Do. The Explore button will take you to all the digital interactive materials for the units and the chapters. So, for example, if we wanted to go to Unit 3 on cells and go to Chapter 7, we can look at each section individually by section name and look at also the chapter resources. So let's click on 7.1, Life is Cellular, and look at kind of the general outline of what that looks like. Once this opens up, you've got several tabs here at the top. Oftentimes there's a fourth tab here, but right now it says Lesson Overview. Okay, it's just that as a lesson summary of some of the key ideas and the key points from section 7.1. So it's kind of like a slideshow of key ideas and points. There's a section entitled Lesson Notes. We don't often use this, but if you feel like taking notes online or with the online book, you can go ahead and use some of these links here. We most likely will use Assessment, which has little practice tests. Okay, the self-test is multiple choice, in which you can kind of review some of the concepts from that particular section. You enter your choice and then kind of select and grade your own at the very end. Or, I notice this one doesn't have it, but let's go to 7.2. There should be another tab that says Activities. Under there, you find interactive tutorials. diagrams that you can label, tutor tube, little videos, visual analogies, all sorts of interactive items that can review concepts from that particular section. So this one is just reviewing cell parts. It's a kind of click and drag, labeling activity. Once you think you're done, you go ahead and click submit, and you can kind of grade your own. And you can do this as many times as you want. And that's what's unique about the online book, is that these tutorials they're able to reset and kind of be used multiple times, and students use that for supplemental reference or review. In the to-do folder, what you will see there, right now there's nothing posted, but by chapter, I will post in here various tutorials that are optional for additional help or review, but I will also post what's called the standardized test prep. Usually that's an item that I assign at the beginning of the chapter, and then it's due the day of the chapter test. So I'd like you to complete those and make that part of your studying for the chapter assessments. Back to the home screen. So you've got the Explore tab for all the interactive materials. You've got the to-do folder with things that I can assign you. And you've got the actual interactive textbook or digital textbook that can be used in lieu of the actual book. Hopefully that clarifies some of the resources that are available through biology.com and the Pearson site. If you have questions, please let me know in class. Thank you.